morning, everyone. My name is Crystal, and a big good morning to everyone. A thank you to my subscribers, and I hope everybody has a lovely day today. My name is Crystal. I live in Rochester by myself. I'm actually going through hell at the moment. Alexa, can you define the word cruelty?
Cruelty is usually defined as the state or quality of being cruel. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for cruelty.
Alexa, give me more definitions for cruelty.
I have 3 more definitions for the noun, cruelty. 1. Cruel disposition or conduct. 2. A cruel act. 3. Conduct by a spouse that causes grievous bodily harm or mental suffering.
Alexa, what does the word cruel mean?
The adjective cruel is usually defined as willfully or knowingly causing pain or distress to others. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for cruel.
Willingly causing distress to others. So you know what you're doing when you're being cruel to somebody. Deliberately being cruel, and some people get pleasure out of it. Immense pleasure. So I have got up and I'm ready to fight the cruelty and the bullies. Good morning. And I'm trying to gather evidence and information so that I can sue and report these individuals to the police. Right, I know I'm going to get it. I've been talking about the elites, I've been talking about MPs, I've been talking about King Charles. So it's going to come at me full force. I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared for it. My mother said something to me once, and I don't know whether she is involved with Charles and Camilla. She said, I'm tired of doing Charles and Camilla's job for them, whilst I was round her flat. I've just had a lovely voicemail message from my mother this morning, who's got up early, not to help me, but to leave a lovely message first thing in the morning to me, her daughter. And I'm struggling at the moment because Barclays Bank has stopped mine, Crystal's bank card, not my mother's. And my father, Derek, is dead, so they've stopped my bank card. And I am ringing them up again today at some point, but I'm not going to say when. Because the guy over the phone yesterday said to me, if the number I've given you doesn't work, call the bank again and we'll send a courier to you with your card. And if they don't, I'm going to the newspapers. Going to the newspapers. Not only am I going to the newspapers, somebody's told me to report Barclays Bank to the police because I cannot get access to my money. Right? So we will be calling Barclays Bank back at some point today, but I'm not going to say when. They do tell you in the answer phone message what are the best times to call Barclays Bank. I'm not going to get fobbed off. If I am, I'm going to complain and I want compensation, because this is the 4th or 5th time it's happened and it's not acceptable. Not to a disabled woman living on her own, who, you know what I mean, who's actually frightened to go out of her own home. This is enough. I've had enough of it. And if they tell lies, the phone conversation will be recorded if they tell lies and try and get out of it. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if someone's telling my mum to say these things. There's someone round my mum's flat right now getting her up first thing in the morning. 8:05. Hello, Janestra. Remembering your sister Amanda, who died of multiple sclerosis. Remembering your father Derek, who died of a heart attack. That's the message I wake up to this lovely Tuesday morning. Immediately, fans arrive outside. Fans? Thinking I, a disabled woman in my 50s, is going to get cross and outside with no money. Absolutely disgraceful. Then the TikTok goes off. Same time my mum rings the phone, I've got these crappy TikTok messages. It's all being written down, screenshotted. Obviously, the voicemail can be given to the police and the actions of Barclays Bank. I'm certainly not going to look around for money, if you know what I mean, than what they think I'm going to do either. So, if Barclays Bank doesn't give me a reasonable offer to help me, because it's their fault, I'm going to go to the newspapers. And I won't get money. I still won't get my stuff sorted out, but Barclays Bank will be exposed. There is a Barclays Bank in the USA as well, and a lot of these TikToks making fun of me are Americans. Americans! So, good morning everybody. I'm trying to keep warm. I'm trying to float around the flat and see if I can get money to get some electricity on my meter. Yesterday my mum said she'd help me with £20 if she could get it to me, but it doesn't look like by the voicemail message that I got this morning that she will be able to help me at all. And I'm not saying she's threatening me with what happened to my dad and my sister, but why would you knowingly know that your daughter is suffering and then turn round in a voicemail and say, remembering your sister Amanda who died of multiple sclerosis, remembering your father who died of a heart attack. Why would you leave a message like that? And this, someone needs to find out who's doing this to me in TikTok. Janestra, this is an early morning phone call to you, Janestra, just to say that I'm remembering your sister Amanda. Like, what's going to happen to me then? Trying to make me frightened to go out of my flat. That's what it's doing, a form of control, isn't it? And what happens if I don't go out of my flat to put the electricity on? I'm going to freeze to death. Well, believe you me, I am going to go out of my flat. I'm not freezing to death in here. This is serious, right? This has got to stop. Look at yourself in the mirror before you fucking do that to me. Grow up. How old are you? My mother is fucking nearly 80. I'm going to make a spectacle of all of them. All of them. All these wicked monsters bullying me, all caught on camera. Somewhere along the line, I think drugs are involved. Don't tell me why, but I think that, this clean money, is it laundered? Has the money been laundered? Somewhere across the line, I think drugs are involved. Money laundering. Money laundering. Frightened of getting found out. Because my mum, she had money before my dad passed on. She had money before my dad died. And she would have actually let my dad have no food in the house, knowing that she had money. My dad dad told me they had a Christmas eating pot noodles. Eating pot noodles in that house in Victoria Road that I stayed in for 2 or 3 years and experienced cruelty in there. No one knows about the conditions of that house I was living in at Victoria Road when I first came down. Absolutely awful. Right, I've had enough, and the truth will come out. And if a certain somebody doesn't like it, it shouldn't have been done to me. I have had enough, and enough is enough. It doesn't matter what someone looks like. Don't be stupid. You don't be cruel to someone because they look ugly. What's wrong with you all? I don't even fucking look ugly. That's the fucking point. That voicemail is being kept for evidence. That's being kept for evidence, right? I will make a statement to the police about everything that's happened to 2008 if this continues. Barclays Bank, right? I was told you was going to help me. If you don't, I'm going to the newspapers. I'm not suffering anymore. It's all been done to me. I'm the victim, and I'm not suffering anymore. Not for anybody, not for any price. No, I'm not. The chickens, they don't want to get caught, so they're trying to intimidate me, frightening me to stay indoors. Simple as that. It's trying to get in my way, looking at me with mean eyes, letting dogs off. Cars reversing in my path, you know what I mean? So as you can see, I'm not going round to my mum's. She's left me an intimidating voicemail message, which, you know, my mum, as when I've gone round there, she's terrified me to death, especially when my dad was alive as well, because she kept saying months before my dad passed on, your dad doesn't want any funeral flowers. He doesn't want any flowers on his funeral. I've had a hearse come down Corey's Road with flowers on the coffin. Right, I feel threatened now. Absolutely. I'm not going down without a fight either. I can only assume it's because I've been talking about King Charles III and MPs involved in pornography and child abuse. I've got to keep calm and collected because another one of their tactics is to put you in jail, get you all riled up so you get into trouble, and then obviously leaving me without money. They think I'm going to steal, and then they put me in a jail cell. And I'm a woman. And I think I'm suffering in solitary confinement anyway, don't you? Don't see anybody, don't talk to anybody, not eating very much, being intimidated and frightened to speak. So I think there you go. Fuck being made fun of and laughed at. These criminals, these men, want me stuck indoors, pumping out photographs and God knows what else, and it's getting harder and harder for me to actually go outside and walk down the street to the shop anywhere. They are making it horrible for me to go into a shop. Just this morning I was belched at by an unsavoury looking foreign bloke. He just belched at me. I mean, I'm a happy-go-lucky woman. I'm always smiling, and I think that I'm approachable and nice. And then you're smiling, and this guy just belches, and he looks really filthy and horrible. And I just turn around, smile, and walk off. Now, this is what's happening to me. I'm a woman, and I'm not frightened to go outside. These dirty men are making it difficult for me to go outside. Oh, I like your tits. Can I have a picture of your tits? And I went, no. I don't want to do, I don't want to sit naked. I mean, and show myself over web camera. You don't know who he's got in the background. He could have a load of fucking audience in the background. How do you know when you're sharing your private parts to people online? This guy in Wales was showing my picture to young males, and I'm a woman, and it was too late. He told me he'd done it before he even asked me if he could share my picture with anybody else. And I am getting approached in fucking shops and being, you know, made sexual suggestions towards. And I'm an older woman. I'm going through the menopause. I'm not a young lady. And it's disgusting. But surely Interpol can get involved and see where these sex pests are coming from. Surely not. You know? They can't do anything. They fuck teenage girls on dirty mattresses in blocks of flats like this one and ply them with alcohol and drugs. That is the truth. We have had 3 different home delivery lorries down this street, one parked opposite my bedroom window, Iceland, which I don't ever order from Iceland. I suffered poisoning from their chips in Gloucestershire. I would never ever shop from Iceland. I have suffered food poisoning many years ago and it put me right off Iceland food. We've had a Tesco delivery lorry opposite my flats, an Ocado delivery lorry going down the road. I will not be blackmailed or pressurised to sell my body to dirty men. I will expose this. This goes on in ordinary blocks of flats all the way round the road, all the way round the world. Vulnerable women, teenage girls are violated by dirty men in blocks of flats, older men. Okay, so all the way around the world right now there are women and girls like myself, vulnerable, that are being abused by foreign blokes. It's fucking happened to me. And I'm not having it. Keeping me awake at night, depriving me of money and food. No! I'm cooking my lunch, guys. I look after myself. I defend myself because the police are useless. There was 2 blokes wandering around the first floor of this block of flats a few weeks ago. What were they looking for? You are not having photographs. You're not fiddling about with me. You can burp in my face. You can fucking piss on me for all I care. I'm not doing what you want. Just heating up my pasty and beans. Dirty perverts. What's all this TikTok business, yeah? TikTok business? You know, can we go over to Telegram, WhatsApp? I met a guy off YouTube, a white guy off of YouTube, a fellow balloon blower. 2 days after my dad died, he tried to get sex pictures of me and rude videos 3 days after my dad passed away. That was a white bloke. A lot of crime going on lately everywhere, a lot of knife crime in London, a lot of animosity, cruelty, evil shit going on in this world at the moment. I think it was last week or the week before, an Amazon delivery driver rang my buzzer. I went downstairs and there was no parcel on the floor. And the delivery driver, gestured for me to go over. He said, Crystal, some boys on bikes have stolen parcels from the foyer and they've rode off with them. I said, what, have they left them over there? He said, no, they've just rode off with your parcel. I'm a woman, I've got disabilities, I didn't go running after the thieves. It was bubble bath. They stole bubble bath, so I guess they were a bit smelly thieves. They stole bubble bath. It cost me about £1.50. And I've been communicating with people off of TikTok, you know, these messages they send you. And they've asked me what my name is, and I've said Crystal. And I've had no communication about... I reported the theft to the police because when they steal your parcel, they're stealing your name and address and your identity. So I wasn't worried about losing £1.50. I was worried about my identity being stolen. So after over a week, I went round the back and there's my empty parcel. You can see right through it. Hello. Round the back of my flats, it stinks. Like some dogs pissed on it. It's nice of thieves to steal your stuff and then leave you the empty package. I hope the bubble bath made them smell clean, because it smells like someone's pissed on my parcel. So I'm getting messages from somebody on Facebook. They're obviously some kind of pervert. And basically they said to me, I'm telling you how this happened. So Facebook's got messaging, hasn't it? And there can be foreign guys on there, all sorts of people. So I got a message, and someone was talking to me last night before I went to bed. And they showed me a picture of a chubby looking man of about 63. Looked a bit like Santa, but with a bald head and white hair. Chubby looking face, white hair, white beard. And he was saying to me, do I like women? And I said no. And then he said to me, do I get horny? And that's how a young lad would speak to a girlfriend. Do I get horny? H-O-R-N-Y. I mean, I'm an older woman, I'm 50 plus. I'm going through the menopause. I find it hard to get out of my bed in the morning. So I started laughing to myself. I went, no, I don't get horny. I don't. And then the message afterwards was, oh, why is that then? Oh, big O, why is that then? And I said, well, I just don't really. After I answered the message, I went to put some toast in my toaster machine. I've got a 4-slice toaster. I put a piece of toast in the machine. I was making toast and my electricity went off. It just went off, completely went off. And I thought, Crystal, you know, you haven't put the emergency credit on. So it just the electric would just go off and you'll be left without electricity. So I thought, right, I'm going to have to go into the cupboard just after 9 o'clock this morning. So I opens my door. As soon as I open my front door, I can hear the next door neighbour to that side of me. I hear a dog. So I go into the cupboard. And I shut the cupboard door behind me because I can hear the dog. I can hear the dog squealing, and I don't want the dog, you know, going into the cupboard, so it's near the lift. So I shut the meter cupboard. So I'm just 2 seconds into the meter cupboard when my next door neighbour, she's female, comes out of her flat and opens the meter door. Right, it's the one I've had an altercation with. She opens the meter cupboard and stares at me, and for some reason I just went sorry, and I went out of the cupboard and I came back into my flat. But I just got into that meter cupboard when the neighbour came into the meter cupboard. She came into the meter cupboard whilst I was stood in there, female neighbour. So I waited for her to go, and then she'd locked the meter cupboard door, and I hadn't been able to put my emergency credit on because she's like stood there like this, and I'm thinking, fuck me, you know, I'm not, like, I should have I don't know what I should have done. I just said sorry. Well, she was in her pyjamas. She had a dressing gown and pyjamas on at 9 o'clock in the morning. And she'd got into the meter cupboard with me. I got out of the meter cupboard. I said sorry, came into my flat. I waited for her to go out of the cupboard. She'd locked it, went back into the meter cupboard, opened it, and put my emergency credit on and came back into my flat. I think it's being done to stop me going outside. All this neighbour nuisance. It's like so I don't go outside. I have to get food to eat. I have to put my electricity on. I have to walk my dog. No, I'm not scared. It hasn't put me off going outside. I'm going to take my dog for a walk. But I'm being stalked by neighbours. As soon as I open my front door to my flat, out she comes into the meter cupboard where I'm inside it trying to put my electricity on. She doesn't go away. She comes into the cupboard and I have to get out. Right? I'm being stalked by neighbours. Stalked. And harassed by neighbours. But I wasn't touched. Nothing happened. I just got out of the cupboard and came into my flat. Now, anybody else would have spoken and gone back, but she didn't. She just stood there staring at me. So I got out the way and came into my flat. I've rung my mum up and I've had a word with my mum and she found it funny. It's not funny. A female stalker can be worse than a male stalker. It's not funny at all. It's scary. There's something suspicious going on. Both mine and my mother's bank accounts, people are taking money out of and helping themselves and getting away with it. I'm not getting any help. I still haven't heard from victim support. It's a crook, or a few of them, crooks, thieving and stealing. So if that was meant to prevent me from going outside, it hasn't. I have to take my dog for a walk. And I have to go outside. So every message is screenshotted. No one should touch me sexually or in a violent manner. And you should keep your distance, right? She was invading my space. She was in my face, invading my space. I walks outside the flat and I'm feeling okay. I'm not feeling ecstatic, but I'm feeling okay. I'm not feeling moody or cross or anything. Walk across the road and immediately we've got the street theatrics or the orchestrated crap that goes on. As I went onto the field, there was a black guy with a hooded coat like my Parker coat, and the hood was over his head. Walking down the opposite side was two young men, and they were laughing like something was funny. And obviously drugs has got to do with this, because weed and ganja makes people giggle. So the guy with the hood over his head was either vaping very heavily or he was smoking weed. Now I smelt weed as I was walking my dog up the path behind this guy, who looked like he had a rather big dog off the lead. Right? But I just carried on walking behind this chap, and he was walking really fast in front of me, and his dog was going that way. It wasn't going anywhere near me. So there was no trouble. But these two young men were hovering about and giggling, thinking something was funny. Obviously, because they were probably smoking weed as well. I can only surmise that, I don't know. But they were just giggling for no reason. This is what is making my eyes sting and my eyes misty and me feeling faint on my feet. The constant drug use in this flat and outside of it, and the heavy use of vape pipes. which I believe can be actually worse than actual cigarettes themselves, because people can actually blind you with the vape pipe smoke so you can't see where you're going, especially when you're trying to cross the road. I can't carry on like this. I can't fucking see where I'm going. I can't breathe. I've never smoked drugs in my life. I think it's disgusting, especially when there's old people and children walking up the road. It upsets my dog. It makes me angry. So basically, all week we've been having, I want to meet you, Crystal. I want to meet you. And when can we meet? And then today I get a message from a black man, apparently. Very, very sexual language from a black guy. I've got two men in their 20s giggling at me as I'm walking towards the field, and a black man with a hood over his head walking around the field with what I think is smoking ganja and blowing it all over the place. When I come off the field, the ganja stench is awful. It stinks. And I feel dizzy on my feet. I'm going to cross the road and two bicyclists come at me. They don't say excuse me. I mean, they're in the wrong. They shouldn't be cycling on the path. They shouldn't be cycling on the bloody path. So they're, just laughing at me with smiles on their faces. Don't ring a bell or tell me they're there. They're just coming towards me with a fucking couple of bicycles. Something I did want to say, guys. I think someone's trying to see if I've got money and I haven't. They're con artists and crooks. Came back off the field, and this is why my eyes, I can't see out of my eyes. Drugs. What is it my mum said? Kind thoughts to you, it's worth more than money. Kind thoughts are worth, yeah, I quite agree with you. She has done nothing but try and get me cross. And her cronies, the actors and actresses, the stooges outside. Everything has been noted down and screenshotted. If I feel in danger over the weekend, and I'm going to call 999 from if I feel I'm in danger from drug users, or I think anybody else is, I'm going to call 999. Any form of drug alters your mind. Why do you think a lot of trouble in town centres is caused by drug addicts losing their tempers? They don't know what they're doing. It's the drug altering their mind and making them angry. Drugs cause people to be angry. They do. And alcohol is a drug. A lot of town centre crime is caused by drug addicts and alcoholics. And nobody's sorting the problem out, so it gets worse. Building lovely flats, it looks all lovely, doesn't it? But there's a drug problem underneath here. Drug problem. Smokers smoking drugs near old age pensioners' homes. Yesterday, the guy upstairs parked his car outside Tracy's flat. When I walked outside, I was barked at. It made me jump out of my skin and I felt horrible. I feel I'm being bullied by more than two sets of people. I feel that I'm being listened to, as when I go out my door, I can hear rude things coming from people's doors, rude sounds, people saying rude things. It's not acceptable behaviour, but I can't prove it. There's other things going on as well, which I've written in my journal this evening. It's making me ill, and perhaps that's what they want, yeah? We know that he's going to have his kids over at the weekend, so I'm not only going to get noise from his kids, I'm going to get noise from that side as well. 2 sets of kids. I'm making an appointment for the doctor. This is ridiculous. In my opinion, what went in the co-op yesterday was out of order. Taking the mickey out of my colour and my weight. Out of order. Not on. Every time I write what the neighbours are doing down in my journal, or I write things down in my journal and I keep a record of the harassment, it gets worse. It's a given, it gets worse. So it's 10 to 5 in the evening, right? The guy upstairs has parked his Ford Mondeo outside the apartments next to mine. So this noise is happening to me, right? Me. I'm a single woman living on my own. I have health issues and I'm being harassed and stalked. Okay. I am trying to get myself back on my feet. I've injured my leg and I've been feeling mentally stressed. Okay. So I have not got cross with anybody. I was a bit rudely treated in the shop when I went in there this afternoon, but I did not say a word. No, not say a word. I just stood there, took it and walked out the shop. So we're going to go back to the co-op. When I went into the co-op this afternoon, I'm Crystal, I'm a female, and I went in there with my coat, my Parker coat. This is my coat. Mine. Stick it over my head so you get the gist. Right, this is my coat. Hello. So I came back from walking my dog and I wanted to get some baked potatoes. Walked into the shop and I didn't know that the self-assessment checkout was down. The sticker over it had been pulled off. There was no indication to me that that cash point was out of order because there was no sign saying it was. So I picked up my basket, grabbed my shopping, and I told you I didn't want to interact with staff. So I went over to the self-assessment checkout that deals with cash and notes, and you can use a card as well if you want. So I started scanning my shopping and this played up. So this wouldn't scan. You can see it's a bit bobbly there, it wouldn't scan. So a female member of staff helped me scan the product through the till. When I went to pay for my shopping, I had a £10 note. And by the way, I lost 20 pence, but it doesn't bother me. So I started to pay for my shopping and I put 20p in, and then I noticed that it wasn't going through. It wasn't going through. So I tried to put the note in, it wasn't accepting the note. So I just stood there and both staff had gone away from the counter and I couldn't find a member of staff. People were coming into the shop and I felt stupid. Eventually, right, the young man that was on duty started serving someone at the till, and then I picked up all my stuff, put it back in a basket, and I queued up with it and told the guy that the till, you know, wasn't taking my cash. And that's when the female assistant said, oh yeah, someone's taken the label off of where the money goes in. It's taken the sign off. And the young man went, yeah, there was an old man and I think he's pinched the shopping. They said they thought the old man had pinched the shopping, like taken it. No one got on the phone to report it, no one did anything. These male and female members of the staff stood there, just carried on with what they're doing. The male kept talking to the female while I was being served and like paid no attention to me at all. I paid for my shopping and he didn't even offer me a receipt or anything. He was just talking to the female member of staff, and I felt a bit silly and I felt a bit like, I'm just not going to bother anymore. So I took a bag of shopping and I walked out the shop. And I came home with the shopping, and I was happy. I was pleased with what I've got. I got my baked potatoes, I got my shopping, I got everything I needed. This guy comes in upstairs and my ceiling vibrates with music. It starts vibrating with music from upstairs, and I mean I can hear it through my kitchen. Right, I've got people on TikTok asking me how I am and like sending me laughing emojis while this guy is upstairs putting his music on full volume. So his Ford Mondeo is parked down the flats down there. I am getting unwanted messages, people laughing at me, and the music was like, just now it was unbearable. It was thumping through my kitchen ceiling. I feel like I'm being punished for trying to be myself, going outside, mixing with people and getting a life. When I'm sat indoors, not speaking to anybody, not talking to anybody, and not doing anything, like somebody seems in their element. Someone's told me, who cares, no one's going to help you. I'm not sure about that. You might think they're not going to help me at the moment, but I am in the process of getting a caseworker. I will get out of this place, and when I move out, it will be noisy. I mean, what the fuck is going on? How old is this guy? Is he normal? So he's got music, loud volume, and he's supposed to be getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Do you understand what this guy's head is? I've been quiet all day. I haven't been doing anything. I've just been smiling and happy and trying to get on with my day. What is wrong with the geezer? So I have to put fucking Alexa on in the bedroom, Alexa on in the living room. I'm not going outside, it's raining. It's pissing down with rain. So of course you put up the music to cover his music, then he puts the music to cover up that, and then it's like that, is it? I'm not going up there. No, I'm not. Well, you might. I'm a woman. I don't want to get punched in the face by a thug. It's a bloke. I'm a woman and he's a bloke. It worked the last time. The last time he put really horrible music on it, it sent me stress levels through the roof. But I had, although I didn't sleep like for hours and hours, I had some sleep. I am sick of putting up with this. Next week I'm going to get onto the housing and an MP about this. This guy is completely insane. It's nuts. Absolutely insane. I've put up with this for 4 years. I've just been talking to somebody about it quite normally, and it's thumping on the ceiling. It sounds like the balcony's vibrating. When I went out to walk my dog this afternoon, there was weed smell in the building, drugs. There are children in this building, and I will be reporting it to the police and reporting it to the housing as well. There are kids in this building that have got to go to school, etc. Babies in prams. It's unacceptable to smoke drugs in the communal area. There is a no smoking sign. I've had enough of it. I sit here day after day, keeping my mouth shut, right, sitting and being Miss Goody Two Shoes and quiet, while this monster keeps harassing me. You know, last night, thumping the ceiling. There was no noise last night. What was he thumping the ceiling for with his feet? Perhaps he's got an alcohol addiction or a drug addiction. I don't know. I don't know what his problem is. So I just put music on myself. I mean, I quite like a bit of 80s music. Wake me up before you go. We had somebody on TikTok called Jackson talking to me. Right? Hello? While this noise is going on upstairs. This has been going on for 4 years. He's not getting what he wants. I don't know what he wants. I don't care. I'm not going up there. The drug users are going to be reported to the council and the police. That's the end of it. I can't go up to see my mum or ring her because I've run out of credit. And I'm saving the money I've got to get food and put electricity on my meter. So if he's doing it so I ring somebody, I can't ring out. The only people that I can ring is 999, which is the police, in case of an emergency. And if someone's on drugs and drinking alcohol, you don't go upstairs to them, do you? So, I've got somebody asking me to go over to somewhere, obviously for photographs, and it's not happening, again. Walked out of the building at 2 o'clock with Max into a great big thick mist of weed smell. Ganja, marijuana, whatever you call it, with kids in this building. There was a lot of people on the field, but I just managed to, I'd rather there was people. I was feeling dizzy and faint walking near the riverside edge. But there was people at the edge of the river, loads of them. Felt very faint and dizzy. Also makes me angry. It doesn't lower my inhibitions or get me talking to people. When I came off the field, there was a load of people outside the travel lodge. And a lot of people on crutches and walking sticks. I think it's really sad that in this day and age, right, you know, children aren't safe where they live. They aren't. I don't mind talking to somebody, but the minute you ask for photographs, no, you're not having any. So I walked with Max. God, I've got a fucking headache. Right over my left eye. What do they smoke it for? Yeah, I just wanted to walk Max, get some fresh air, get out of here, be left alone. I'm not doing anything to anybody. This stalker won't leave me alone. In my fucking Instagram, in my TikTok, in my YouTube, in my Twitter. Fake profiles, and they're not very literate, they can't spell. Perhaps they're high on weed and they can't see what they're writing, I don't know. In my opinion, this has gone far enough now. It's gone far enough, it's ridiculous. I've got to do something about it. Make someone listen. You know, why isn't anybody helping me? I need to go to the media. Why is no one helping me? Why won't nobody find me a worker? Why am I sat in this flat like I was at the other flat with fucking dirty men keep contacting me for photographs? And why every time I move is there drugs in the building? The last building was full of ganja and ecstasy. The flat up in Gloucestershire, they were up the block of flats, they were all heroin and fucking cocaine addicts, and the police acted like dummies. And I was only drug free when I was married. There was no, I mean, in the my husband did not smoke or take drugs. As soon as I get outside and leave my husband, there's fucking drugs everywhere. I don't know what's going on. And why is there a bunch of what's-its outside the fucking travel lodge when I'm walking down the road? Off their head.